welcome back to Comfy Cozy Up. So we are in day 8. So yesterday was a long day for me, so I only really had time to just journal in the morning, and when I came home I finished the book. So this is done, and it was just like I didn't have time really to even try to record anything. So it is Wednesday, and I feel this week is just really going by fast, and I really wanted to do some other stuff, so which I will talk about in a minute. I'm not going to give a full review of this because I want to dedicate it to the end where I talk more about this book. But what I'm going to say is she got it right. Brianna McIver got it right. The book is not per se unique in terms of the subject line or the things that were discussed, but she didn't go over the top. She didn't leave you scratching your head at the end where you're like, what was the point of the book? We know what book they wanted to compare this to, and that really irked my nerve, because this is way better. This got it right. This was not over the top. This is not an author looking for some sensational storyline just to get people emotion boiled up. It had a message. It was very clear. It was done right, and it's very much realistic, and I do enjoy this. So I will go in more detail about other things, and I wrote, what's the phrase that I love, because I didn't have my notebook with me. What was the quote? Keep well. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna use that. Keep well, okay? If that ain't the ultimate shade from this book, keep well. So I'm going to do some notes on this so that I can, have and dissect certain things that I really enjoy about this book. Also, some of the things that was like, yeah, but wasn't a perfect book, but for the most, I would say this definitely is a really good book. There, it's a little slow. That's what I'm gonna give you in some areas, but my God, this was executed good. Yes. All right. What's next? So let's just give you the book. Fire Rush, Jacqueline Cooks. Let me tell you, I don't follow the Women Prize anymore. I haven't followed a Women Prize since 2017, 2018. You guys know I'm a booker girl. I read all them damn books, review them, in the hype about it, go crazy for it. Women Prize have disappointed me so much that I just don't have the desire to follow it. So thanks to the subscriber, thank you, who said, I'm surprised you didn't pick this. It is a Jamaican author. I said, what? So I had no idea that Jamaican author even made it to the long list, much less was shortlisted. So then I decided to go look at the list. Just look at the list. I heard this book I didn't like was on the long list, but I never paid attention to it. So I went to go look at the list, and yeah, I was already like, I would have been turned off already from that book even making it to the long list. And then I saw the short list, and I said, oh. But then I also felt like Demon Copperhead is on the short list. That I can't see that book not winning for whatever reason. Even if I don't read the other ones, I just feel like that's going to be the winner. Nevertheless, it's a Jamaican author. It's a debut novel. I picked it up right away, and I'm starting to read it. I am only in chapter 3, so I'm only 28 pages in. So this is the last book I think I might be able to squeeze in. Not necessary, because it's not. You see how short it is? You see how short it is? Yeah. So focusing on this, yeah. What I would like to say is, I don't know how it's going to rub some people. So this is a British storyline of Jamaicans, young Jamaicans in England. And this is set, I believe, the 70s, 80s. And it is the party scene. But then you get the idea of this young girl who is living with her father. Her mother passed. And their relationship is not the greatest. But there's things about her that's happening. Now, this book does make me nervous because it gives me, I'm very weary of younger characters in British books that are Caribbean, because it always end up having some form of trauma that's just like always. So it's like I'm preparing myself for this book in a way that maybe not the greatest attitude they have with it. But because of that, I feel like maybe I won't be shocked. I won't be feeling some kind of way because my expectation is already problematic. That was Karen from Run Right Reads messaging me. We working on the chat situation discussion. It's coming, guys. We will talk about the date on that soon. But anyway, let me finish. So this one I said that for this it's just, we will see. Now what I would say, the cover. If this is not giving you late 80s, early 90s vibes, like, they got the cover right for this story. The cover, I mean, when I saw this, I'm thinking of Colleen, Dancehall Queen. I was like, yeah, they got the cover. They got the cover right. So we will be reading this and reviewing this and let you know. I can't see this winning no Women Prize. I think that was a thrown in there. I wanted another ambition, because this weekend is also out and about kind of weekend, is I wanted to make one new outfit. So the first thing I was thinking is this top, but make it, of course it's going to be short sleeve. So I am thinking of A or B. But I don't know. I have this because it's giving me summer. You know, I'm thinking this because this will be fun with some white pants or white shorts. And so I'm thinking of this with this. And I think this might not take me that long because it's how many pieces? I don't know. I didn't open it. I don't think it's that many pieces, but we'll see. I really wanted to make this, guys. This one I really wanted to make, but when I looked at the back and see how many yards I needed, I don't have anything over 4 yards. And this needed a little over 4 yards. It says 4 yards and 1/8. So I don't have enough fabric to do this. Even the hot pink, this is only 4 yards. I know for a fact. But no, let me see. Because this says 4 yards if it's 60. This is definitely 60. And I would only need 3 yards. We'll see. We'll see. And then, of course, I have this. The problem with this is this waistline is, you can see how problematic this waistline is. Because even on the model, the buttons are not even like lined up properly. It looks lined up here, but not really here. And so this one, I know it's going to be a lot of work. The button's going to take me a minute, and because I hand sew all my button. I have not mastered how to sew in the button with the machine. I just hand sew it in. And then the waistline is going to be a challenge for me to line it up to make sure, because you can see the bodice and the bottom is really separate, but they are sewed on together when it's, you know, when it's done. So that's going to be a problem. So I don't have enough time to work on this for the weekend. So that's why I'm like, I'm scratching this. So likelihood we're gonna do this. So what I'm planning on doing is cutting. Do I even have time? No, I don't have time to even cut the pattern on. So this, I'm gonna cut this out tonight and maybe start it, and then tomorrow and Friday work on this and finish it by the weekend. I just think I'm gonna do probably A. I think it's A, because I like that the peplum bottom is longer, and you know, girl got a gut, so I'm gonna do that one. Alright, so that's the goal right now. I am cooking. I did not get to meal prep this week, but I'm cooking enough where it's like 3-meal situation. And then I'm gonna do some journaling stuff and head to work. So yeah, that's a rundown of the day, guys. Alright, see you in a few. Hey guys, so we are in day 9. So this I did cut out the pattern. Yes. I don't think I'm gonna finish this top by the weekend. I'm just looking at it like we're already in. It's already Thursday, guys. I just, yeah, not really, because even though it's not a lot of pieces, I'm not sure. But we'll see what I can do tonight and what I can do on Friday, because I've been coming home literally going to bed, reading, and going to sleep, like not wanting to stand up and be in front of a machine. Just so we'll see how that works. Who was really surprised that Demon Copperhead won? No one. That book been just picking up every one of the big ones. Once it won that big one, the Pulsar, I just knew that was it. Which means it's probably going to be in the Booker. So I am going to read it next month, in July. It's one of those situations where, because it's so overhyped, and because I am a huge fan of David Copperfield, which is, it was a homage to that. That was a 5-star book for me. That I have high hopes for this book, and it's a bit chunky. It better be worth all the hype it's getting. But I'll let you know how I feel next month. So for now, we're gonna read this. So I'm reading this one, which was immediately I was just like, I love it, but I don't think it's going to win. And once that other book was in the picture, this was not going to win. Now, another thing that I noticed, if you watch my last video, I made a comment on how much I love books, Jamaican characters or Caribbean characters book in England. I love the older book because the struggles that they focus on was totally different. And I find that the newer book is oftentimes, even the one I read earlier this year, a lot of, if it's a Jamaican or a Caribbean community in England, there has to be some kind of violence surrounding the storyline. Another example of that. This is a debut novel, and it's also historical because it's set in 1979. And it follows police brutality at that time. And which is so deja vu. But it's a young girl who is often ignored by her father. You kind of learn how, like, his grief and his regrets and things that he's experiencing cause him to really ignore his daughter. So she's focused on everywhere else that she can feel safe and love and get the attention. So her friends, and it shows in this how when I think of this, it's just, it seems like there are some generational issues in the Caribbean with a lot of parents who often don't know how to deal with struggle and grief. And that period of time, which is my generation, Gen X, I'm the bottom of the Gen X. I think sometimes they want to put me in the millennium, but no. We were on our own and in so many different ways. And it's reflected in books that are from that time period, from the early 80s, the 70s. A lot of Caribbean parents were struggling to make ends meet, and their kids were by themselves to figure it out. And you get this in this where this young girl she got to figure it out. She has to figure out, and things are happening. Things are happening that are very tragic and traumatic. And she's in the midst of trying to find herself. She's discovering things about her father, more about her mother, because she doesn't know her mother. Her mother died when she was very young. She has no memory really of her mother that much. So when you think of this book, it's just, it's very much real. There is another traumatic scene that just happened in this book that I absolutely did not like. I absolutely did not like. But I see how it can happen. But this is a good book. I'm literally a little over half. And I'm just going to say it's a good book. I cannot put this book down. Like every time I'm like, I need to be doing this, I just put the book back. She is born in Jamaica, the author. And she do touch on music, and it's something that we have in Caribbean that we cling to for enjoyment, to deal with every kind of emotion we're going through. Music has always been the center of it, and I like that is demonstrated in this book. So I'm not even we're not done yet, and I could talk so much about this book. I can see how it ended up on this award list. Now, for you patois police, this book is written in terms of a young woman raised in England. Now, her parents are both Jamaican. They're immigrants. The community that she's in is Jamaican, but she's also British. So when you think of how she's speaking and the things that are said, it's very much how it would be even here in America when you think of, even though I'm born in Jamaica, I've never been in an environment in a long time, except for when I went home to Jamaica, where I would speak patois the entire time. That because that's my family. But I'm not in that environment. So there's it feels like a code switching when I talk. But there's certain words that is just not going to be pronounced the same anymore because I'm no longer in that environment where I'm talking. I chat patois the whole time. So look at it that way when you think of books like this. All right? All right. So let me do my journaling and get ready to head to work. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do right now. All right, and I'm just gonna bring this to work with me so I can read on my break. Yeah. So guys, we got some peppers. Yeah, the rain did help a lot. Tomatoes are coming through. Some more peppers are coming. Tomatoes. So we got, and this is some peas. I don't see anything over here. guys, I am exhausted. We are in day 10, and today was a rough day. It was a rough day. I'm exhausted. Like, I'm super exhausted, but it is also last of the week, so I'm on a 3-day weekend situation. I have no energy to do a review on this right now. I did finish it. The ending. I don't know how to really describe it yet, so I'm going to seriously sleep on it tonight. And tomorrow, which will be the last day, I will talk about it, as well as the God of good looks, and then give a wrap up of this CaribAthon. I'm literally trying to sound logical right now, but I want to crawl in my bed. I also did not finish that shirt. I literally only got to that part of the bodice. I literally, it's just not going to get done for the weekend. So I'm a little bummed out about it, but I will not be able to do it till next week. So eventually it'll be finished. So I'm going to go get some rest, and I'll talk about this book. Wow. It's a wow for me. So just know I'm going to unpack it tomorrow, and just it's one of those books that I have to soak it in. So I will see you tomorrow for the last day of CaribAthon. So that means you guys won't see this video. If I'm lucky, I can record early in the morning and wrap up CaribAthon, because I am not reading. I'm not going to be able to finish any book tomorrow, even if I start a new book, because I literally just finished this today. Yeah, I'm not going to be able. This is definitely the last book for CaribAthon. I am going to continue reading books just in general. So I think I'm going to do the wrap up in the morning and just sit and chat about this book. And yeah, not what I expected, but the creativity was definitely there. So all right. Hey guys, so I am in the backyard because I just finished cleaning out my parents' backyard, which was a lot of work, but my niece helped me out a lot, so I was very happy about that. So today I wanted to just wrap up this baby. Now this is a book that I have, I didn't have high hopes because I was just like, oh, let's see. But it is a Jamaican author, it is a debut book, and it is a book that was a finalist on the Women's Prize, so that's worth reading for me. And I would say it is very much a creative writer book. This is a author that took 16 years to write this book. It is a mixture of British writings and then of course patois mixed in it, but think of the character who is raised in England. She's not raised in Jamaica, so there's that in time where she's talking standard English and then she's dropping a little bit of patois in it. So the dialogue in this is very much someone who has been far removed from the island, but in this story you see how she wanted to connect with her roots, and mostly because of her mother, and not knowing her mother, who was told passed away when she was young, and a father who is absentee when emotionally. And as the story goes, you get to learn a little things about why and why things happened the way it did for her growing up. But then in this, you get friends who are in chaos, who are dealing with death and police brutality of that time. This is set in 1979, early 80s. So there's things about this book that the author tried to keep authentic. Even the dialogue was very much how they would have spoke back then, which made it interesting at first, because first I was like, why is she saying that? Like, why? Because I'm like, we don't talk like, then I remember the time period. Yes, if you look at old videos back from that time period of Jamaicans, yes, those are the slangs they would use. So it sounds very ridiculous sometimes when I was reading this, but then I realized she tried to keep it authentic to the time period. What I enjoyed about the book is the writing style. It's very poetic. There's this music is such a big thing in this book, because the main character, she is consumed by music and she wants to explore it more. But then there's obstacle that's always in the way, things that's always happening. She's now lost this man that she finally connects with in a way that made her feel a certain way she's never experienced before. And there's that haunting feeling from him, and there's that haunting feeling from her mother that she's never known. And as all this happens, she's just in the midst of chaos, in the midst of dealing with the police and things happening with her, as well as the circles that she's in. She also gets involved with like this cult-like people who are hiding, who are also involved with some form of crime. And this was just something that was not intended for her to get involved, but things happen and now she's stuck. But it goes back to the time period where there was a lot of cults, there was a lot of groups that used different ways to manipulate younger people to do things. And so you see this in this. I had that aha moment a few times, like, ooh, this reminds me of, you know, such and such that happened in the 70s. And then it was that longing to be in the island. So I love when a part of the story that she's in Jamaica and she's like around older Jamaican women, and that feels that she's discovering little things about her mother that she didn't know. And also danger follows her. She's like that woman that's just something always going to follow her, that's going to rip her apart. And it happens in this. One of the things that I love is the poetic parts of this, that I think that love of the island, I love of Jamaica, I love that. But I also struggled with the ending a little. It was beautiful written in terms of the poetic feel of it, but it felt like there's that piece that is missing that I wanted, and it didn't clear up the way I wanted. Now, I do enjoy an open-ended book, but this one I felt like, as beautiful as the writing was, I still left feeling like, oh, wait, what, you know, like questioning things. This is the kind of book that I would love to meet the author. I would love to be in a room where there's a panel discussion on this book and the author is there, because I would definitely be asking some questions, because I have questions when it comes to this book. Overall, I enjoy this book. It's not what I thought it would be. I like that it switched and it didn't stick so much to what I thought it was going to be. I said earlier, but I had to give this book some justice. It didn't make the women's finalist, so I knew it had to be good. But it also is a book that's a bit challenging. I think that there's moments in this book that, as a reader, I think you're probably going to be like me, where I scratched my head and had to kind of read back to see, why was that in the book? Why was that necessary? Why did that change happen? Because there's moments where there's a lot of changes and things that are happening in this, and the move of the beat of the drum and feeling that music in the body and in the mind and consuming the character is beautiful, but it also had that moment where I'm wondering why. So overall, I would say read this. Now that I finish it, I think I'm gonna watch a few reviews to see how people felt, because I'm sure a lot of people review this since it was on the finalist. And then I'm gonna start the author and see, you know, when she will be in my neck of the woods, so that I can go to one of her signings and see how she, you know, chose to end this book. But overall, really like it. Really like it. It is nice. I'm like how she defend herself because I'm under the wicked that they follow. But I really like that part there. But at the same time, I like all the life go. All the I have questions. So we'll be back, guys. I will be in another video where I will give you a rundown on other books. But get this up. I would love to hear what people thought. If you read this, what did you think about the book? And also, I think the opinions on this book might have been different from, I would think, a non-Jamaican person and a Jamaican person. I think I just have a feeling there's certain things that they probably wouldn't have caught on to, because, you know, the Duppy story, cockpit, there's certain things about this that, and old sayings that's in this that I don't think was explained. So I just feel like some of the stuff in this might want to leave people's head, but it's a lot of spirituality thing that's in this book. That's the best way I could put it. So anyway, see y'all in the next one, guys. See you in the next one. All right.